Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the Vicki Boutin design team, and today I'm very excited because this is my first layout with the new Sweet Brush collection, and I have pretty much everything. I'm missing a stencil, but it's already on its way. So I had this idea. I want to create something very masculine, and I saw one of the papers in the collection, so that gave me the idea. So I'm starting with a piece of foundation paper, and I'm gonna use this is painter's tape. I think this is a 3/4 of an inch to an inch painter's tape. I'm not so sure. Let me look here. I think it's 3/4, not so sure. And I'm literally gonna run it across the perimeter of the paper. So that's gonna create a frame on my page. So once I have that, and I've never had good luck with tapes that create those clean edges. I'm still trying to find that tape. But what I want to create is I want to add color to the inside of the frame. But I'm not going to create like color the entire inside. Instead, I want to create kind of a soft ombre effect, create a frame within a frame. So for that, I am using our crayons. I am going to use the navy from the neutral set, and then the 3 shades of blue that come in the cool set, plus the teal crayon. So you're gonna see I've scribbled it on my I'm using my Tim Holtz mat. This is my glass mat, just to help me with all of this that I'm creating. And all I'm doing is once I scribble the crayons, I'm gonna start with the navy. I'm just gonna add a little bit of water to dilute it. I want to not have that much paint on my brush. You're gonna see that I'm going to just kind of just take a little bit of liquid first of all, so a little bit of color, and then the rest I'm gonna scribble it on my mat there to leave it on the mat. Like I said, I want not that much water. I want the application, I want to create marks, paint marks on my paper, and I don't want to have that watercolor effect. I actually want to see the brush strokes. So I'm gonna continue working from the navy. I'm gonna go to the blue, then to the lightest blue, then to the lighter blue, and then once you're gonna see that I don't clean my brush in between. I try to mix the colors together, and then I want to make sure that it starts on the navy and it finishes on the teal. That's the sequence that I want to create. Once I get to the corners, I'm gonna switch my brush, meaning instead of going from I start at the top to bottom, I'm gonna go from left to right, and I'm gonna start with the teal and then slightly move it into the blues until I finish in the navy. So you're gonna see I'm gonna speed up the process. Once again, I am using all these colors. I'm trying to get very little water. Like I said, I want to make sure that I just create those brush strokes. Now the key here is that I'm using Vicki's foundation paper for my background, and if you have never seen it in use, this paper is really heavy. It's a 140-pound paper. That means that, and it has a coating. That means that it holds media nicely. If you're just using regular cardstock, you might want to gesso your page first so you can create that nice application of color once, and the second one you are gonna buckle your page. Even though I'm not adding that much water, it is quite a bit because I'm creating the frame and I'm gonna add more mixed media to it. So just keep that in mind. So going back to the layout, you're gonna see that I'm just gonna say that my brush stroke is around an inch and a half, not bigger than that. Again, like I said, I'm creating a frame within a frame, and I started with the navy, moving to the darker blue, then to the blue, to the lightest blue, and then moving to the teal, and then that pretty much completed my sequence. And then I flip to the other side and I'm gonna work backwards, so from teal to blue, and I'm just gonna go ahead and complete my entire frame. Once I've completed the entire frame, I am not gonna lift up the tape, and I already see that some of the liquid is seeping through underneath the washi tape, the painter's tape in this case, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to have, like I said before, I'm still looking for that tape that is gonna give me those nice crisp lines. If you know, leave it in the comments because I've been trying to find that tape. So whatever I have left over of the art crayon, I'm gonna dilute it with my round brush, and I'm just gonna add it. I'm gonna add splatters onto my page using the diluted art crayon. I just want to add those little if you know my work, or if you've been to my channel before, then you guys know that I love tons of splatters. So again, this is just one of the things that I love. I'm just gonna add it throughout the frame. I'm trying to work all the colors that I have on the crayon and kind of match them to the ones that I have already in the frame. Simple as that, nothing complicated. Like I said, I had the art crayon. I just want to take advantage of it. Once I add all my splatters, I'm gonna add a few extra in the teal part. You're gonna see that I'm gonna just add the extra color, kind of move them around, make them a little bit bigger. I'm gonna let it sit there until it dries completely, and then I'm literally gonna peel the painter's tape. And you're gonna see that I don't have those, I wish, like I said, those crisp edges, but I do have enough to tell me that it's a frame, and I'm okay with that. So once I peeled all the painter's tape, I'm gonna go ahead and trim the branding strip. That's the one that has the hole from the foundation paper, and I'm gonna go with another coat of mixed media. For this, I'm gonna use the new color glazes, the metallic glazes from the Sweet Rush collection. I'm using the tones that are in the background, so greens and blues and a little bit of gold. Now here is where I had a hard time with the stencil. The stencil that I was looking for was not as the one that I'm missing is the XO. So instead I went and pulled this stencil. This is from Vicki Boutin, but it was designed exclusively for Scrapbook.com, sorry, so you can only purchase it there. I actually purchased something, so I have the stencil, and I like the fact that it has circles and it's a repeating shape. So you're gonna see that I am going to literally use the 3 colors. This one is called, I think, is iceberg berry. I can't remember what. I'm not gonna butcher the names, I don't know them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a little bit and apply it onto my stencil. You're gonna see that I'm not going for a right shape, I'm just putting it on my stencil. I'm just gonna run it a little bit, kind of spread it. I'm gonna go then with the green tone, kind of a tealish tone of the glazes, and I'm gonna add it right below the blue. You're gonna see that a little bit is gonna mix, and I'm okay with that. I actually want the mix of the colors. Once I have that, I realized that I have quite a bit of that navy kind of minty color green, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of that. It's called butterscotch, but it looks more like gold, a little bit darker than gold, so I'm gonna say more like an antique gold. So I'm gonna add just a little bit to the top left corner of my stencil. So you're gonna see that you see the 3 colors, and here's the fun part. I am not gonna spread it with, I'm just gonna spread it a little bit just to kind of stretch the paste. What I'm going to come in is one of my stencil brushes, and I'm going to go in a circular motion on top of what I have. So literally what I am doing is I'm just spreading the colors and mixing them together. Now I'm going in a circular motion clockwise and counterclockwise, and when I get to the edges, I'm just gonna kind of stipple so that it looks as if my impression is just disappearing as it goes towards the center. And then I'm gonna move the stencil a little bit higher just to create the same look towards the top of the page. Now here I'm gonna clean the back of my stencil. I am not gonna add any more paste, actually I am, but I'm gonna kind of stretch what I have there onto the top left corner of my layer. Now here's where you're gonna see me mess up. I'm getting a little bit of that butterscotch, and by accident I place my knife underneath the stencil. So you're gonna see once I lift it up that you see like this kind of brownish dot there, and it's because by accident my palette knife went underneath the stencil, but I'm okay. I'm gonna cover that area, and it is all that I'm gonna do with that. Now I have some glaze left over on my palette knife, and I have some glaze left over on my stencil. So literally what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna dilute it with a little bit of water. You're gonna see that I'm just playing with my palette knife on my mat, and then I'm actually gonna use the palette knife. I am you can do that. I'm just proficient enough with it that I can actually collect the water and just create droplets, and I'm gonna make sure that these droplets fall within the area where I applied the glaze. So I'm just going to like give you those little pops of color, kind of shimmery on the background. And once I have that, I'm gonna set that aside to dry completely. It took a little bit longer to dry because there was some water that fell on top of the application, so that just took a little bit longer to dry. So I'm just going to start working on where am I going to place everything. When I started creating this layout, my idea was to have the pictures on the bottom right corner of the layout, but the more I worked at I looked around it, I decided to move my pictures to like rotate my layout counterclockwise by 180 degrees so that my photos will sit on the top left corner of the page. I'm gonna cut 2 of the cards. These are like Polaroid frames from the 6x8 paper pad. I like the fact that it has green and blue, so very masculine tones, which is what I'm using on this layout. Once I have that, I'm just gonna build the idea that I have in mind, and I want to take advantage of the horizontal line because I have two pictures of my son, and this is pretty much what he does. He works from home. Well, he's going back to his last semester of school in September. He's graduated, but he took a year off to do co-op, which means he works as an intern in his profession, and this is pretty much what the day at work looks like. And then he has a second job at night. He does NFTs, so he does a lot of computer work, and he has his office in his room. So this is what I see when I pass by, so I take pictures whenever I can. So like I said, I'm just gonna take advantage of the horizontal line of the application to just add the images. So I'm gonna pull some of those Polaroid pieces. I'm gonna bring some of the tags. I'm gonna bring some pieces of paper. So I had this small picture. They're on a 2x3. I'm gonna trim it so that it looks like it's inside the Polaroid, and I'm just gonna glue it straight onto the blue Polaroid. This comes from the 6x8. I put a few more papers that I thought it was gonna work on this layout. One of them is that flowery paper, but I'm gonna choose not to use it. Instead, I'm gonna use one of the 6x8 papers. Is the one that has that nice sunrise. It has the sun and the teal at the bottom. I'm gonna take the part at the bottom that has the teal because it matches the colors that I have on the background. So I'm gonna cut pretty much the whole teal plus a little bit of the yellow, and I'm gonna use that to anchor my photos onto my background. Then I just put pieces of ephemera and icons that is just gonna help me tell the story. Now here's the key. I want to take advantage of those tags that I'm seeing there. I cut that tag there from the 6x8 paper pad, and then I found this just chilling, which I thought was perfect for my title in the journal in ephemera. So all I'm doing is just tying pieces of string, leaving them long enough so that it helps me create movement on my page, and I'm gonna tack them down with a little bit of glue. I'm doing that for the tag that I added on the top left corner of my layout underneath the photos, and then I'm doing the same for the just chilling, which is gonna become my title. And then once I have that, I'm just gonna add a few more things. I love the fact that there's those little clip chipboards. I'm gonna use one so it looks like it's holding the photos together. I'm gonna use the little chipboard hearts just to bring some of that shiny tones that I have on the layout. Now it's in the icon ephemera. There's all these little phrase labels that it said I think it says just awesome, so just chilling, and I thought that was going to be a perfect subtitle. Then I went into the oh my god, let me just remember, the words just escaped my mind, the sticker tablet, and I found one that had this. There's a lot of ideas of like clips and what do you call them, paper clips and ribbons attached to it. So I'm going to use one. I'm going to cut around the paper clip so it looks like it's clipped onto the title. I'm going to add a little bit of foam adhesive behind it just to give it some lift and give that in like that idea of like being attached to the title. I'm going to attach my title with a little bit of foam adhesive too. Once I have that, again, I'm going to work with the with the string to create that really cute look like. And I thought about stapling down, but I was like no, because I'm adding texture that I don't have that at the top. So instead I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it into place, and then I'm gonna add a few more elements. I looked around these circled elements in the sticker tablet, and I thought that I needed to bring more. You see what I have, the You Do You has quite a bit of color, the title has color. I needed something else that had like all that rainbow look on the top right corner of the picture, so I found that in the sticker tablet. Then I'm just going into the Puffy stickers, adding some of those stars just to create my visual triangle and repetition. And here's when I'm gonna come in with one of the stamp sets. This is the one that has that little notepad look and a whole bunch of little words, and I'm gonna tell you it's probably one of my favorite stamps. So literally I'm gonna bring some archival ink in the same tones that I have on the background. So I have some navy and I have some teal green, and I'm just gonna messily stamp them on the right side of the pictures and also around my title. I just want to bring that messy look and that like messy stamping look onto my page, and I'm stamping the one that says document the details. And then I'm gonna add a few more of the stamps right on the top left corner of the picture. You're gonna see it right now, right there. And that's about it. My lines with journal are gonna go right underneath the blue frame towards the bottom of my title. You see I'm just writing the words in the picture frame, and then the lines of journal are gonna go underneath it. I'll do that after, once I finish filming this. And I love how this turned out. It was super fun, super easy to put together. I love the collection. So much color, so much you can do with it. I wanted to do something masculine that will show you how easy mixed media and how lovely the collection is. And as always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to leave me a comment. Remember to check the collection. It's all available right now. And as always, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, guys.